Oh, now, this is a story all about how local soccer media got flipped, turned upside down. And we like to take a minute, so grab a beer so cold, and we'll tell you how we became electric gold. In White House, Tennessee, born and raised on the soccer fields was where we spent most of our days. Reading Mad Magazine and riding our bikes with a known propensity for rocking the mic. Now we're a trio of guys who are getting kinda old, cheering on the boys and gold with every bit of our soul. Screaming our heads off while drinking some beers, hoping to give Cincy and Miami something to fear. Now Evan, John and Ryan are kicking the facts about Nashville SC, and they'll never come whack. If anything, we can say the show is rare. Acoustic blue and electric gold, the only colors we wear. We pull up to Doty's about 7:38, and we yell to the refs, yo home, smell you later. We look at the castle, we feeling so bold. We sit on our thrones, we're electric gold.
Okay, everybody, we're going to do this, damn it. This is Electric Gold, and I'm Ryan. I'm here with Evan and John, and we are 24 hours removed from the last game of the 2025 regular season, from Decision Day, and from Nashville's fateful demise versus Miami. We'll talk about the whole stupid thing. But first, boys, how are you this evening?
I've been better. And I've been worse, trying to be in the middle about things.
Sure. There's always a bright side as well as a dark side, right?
Yeah.
And Evan, yourself, how are you?
Yeah, I'm actually doing really well. I had a good day, and I'll even talk about how much I enjoyed the match last night later in the podcast. So I'm doing well, boys. Thanks for asking.
Love it.
I'm going to say I had a great time last night.
I had a blast.
For like half of it.
For 45 minutes, I was on cloud nine.
For sure. Well, listen, we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to soccer, but we can't do any of that until we talk about what beers we're drinking tonight. John, what are you having?
Boys, this is so stupid. I'm having a hot honey mango fruited sour from Untitled Art Brewing out of Waunakee, Wisconsin.
Ryan's head just exploded for all you listeners out there.
How many adjectives were there in that
There was
name
a lot of
beer?
adjectives. I mean, that was an adjective-filled sentence that I just gave y'all. It's like a mango just smacked you in your face.
Mm.
And then after this mango taste, there's like this little bit of smooth drizzle of clover honey that kind of hops in, kind of smooths things out for a second. And then there's this slow building chilly heat that lingers like a sunset. It is weird. It is the weirdest beer I have ever tasted in my life. And it's so appropriate because I went to Porvu Brewery in Hendersonville this week. I was looking around. This is what I do. I think I'm going to find the stupidest beer I can and feature it on the podcast. And I literally said to the guy, there was a guy that came up and was like, hey, man, what you looking for? I was like, find me the stupidest beer you got. Brother, you came through. I hope that you find this out because this is the stupidest beer. It's really good. I mean, if you like mango, it's really good. And it's got just a little bit of a chili, like a little bit of a heat taste to it. So it is really weird. It is just super freaking weird.
Wow.
I don't know if I recommend it or not, but if you really want to taste something weird, I recommend this.
Sweet and spicy. It sounds like it's perfect for the Nashville faithful.
There you go.
Evan, what are you drinking this evening?
Well, tonight, boys, I am enjoying a Mortal Bloom by Founders Brewing Company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a hazy IPA with a fairly intense citrus and tropical flavor. There's pineapple and mango in there. It's more juicy than bitter, so it doesn't really have a harsh aftertaste or anything like that. And it's just a great beer from a great town. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you this also later in the pod, why I think Grand Rapids, Michigan is actually one of my favorite cities in the country.
Wow. That's a tease.
I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. That's like something that I would listen to later in the podcast.
Okay, great.
Stay tuned. tonight I decided to embrace the season of Halloween, and I decided to select a beer from Three Floyds Brewery from Munster, Indiana. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Three Floyds at all. They have become a very popular brewery, and they produce a number of different beers that are themed around the supernatural or the spooky, horror themed, that sort of thing. They have beers like the Arctic Panzer Wolf, Barbarian Haze, the Dreadnought IPA, the Laser Snake, the Permanent Funeral, the Space Station Middle Finger, and what I am drinking this evening, the Pale Ale known as Zombie Dust. Now, this brewery has been around since the mid-90s. I think they were founded in 1996. And in that span of time, they have really made a name for themselves to the point where they were named on ratebeer.com as making the best beers on the planet for 4 out of the past 5 years in 2011.
Dang.
And that's according to the people. On ratebeer.com, you can go on there and you can rate different beers. And Three Floyds for 4 out of those 5 years that span, and it could be more since, they had the highest rated average of any brewery on there.
Man.
So pretty impressive. And one more thing that's really interesting about them, they make this premier barrel-aged beer that they have dubbed the Dark Lord. And it is a demonic Russian-style imperial stout that's brewed with coffee, Mexican vanilla, and Indian sugar. And the only way that you can get it is by attending their annual Dark Lord Day festival. So you have to go to Munster, Indiana, and go to the festival, and you can buy a bottle of the Dark Lord beer there. And that is the only way that you can get it. So I'm really thinking about a field trip, boys, up to Indiana.
Electric Gold field trip time.
For the Dark Lord
Get
Day.
your permission slip signed.
Exactly. But in the meantime, I'm going to drink this Zombie Dust. It's a great pale ale. Not to gloss over it and talk about they describe it as an undead pale ale. You'll love it. I highly recommend it. And guys, I'm happy to be here with you and drinking this fine beer. Cheers to you. Let's do this thing.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Okay, we might as well do it. It's time for the weekend review. On decision day in the MLS, the Boys in Gold hosted Inter Miami at Geodis Park. NSC entered the game in 6th place in the Eastern Conference with 1 game to determine their final playoff seeding. With a number of scenarios possible, Nashville had the opportunity to climb all the way to 4th place or slide all the way to 9th. Meanwhile, Miami had their positioning mostly intact with only a difference between 2nd and 3rd seed on the table. Coach Callahan rolled out the A team for this important game, with Yazbek and Tagseth starting in the midfield and Walker Zimmerman in the center back position, along with all the other regular starters. And Miami came with their best lineup too, as they looked to not only secure the best possible playoff spot, but also a golden boot for Lionel Messi. The first half was all Nashville. The Boys in Gold dominated the game, controlling the pace and creating a number of incredible scoring chances. Both Sam Surridge and Hani Mukhtar had point-blank opportunities to put the team up, but both just barely missed on their respective shots. And as Nashville has learned numerous times, if you don't capitalize on your chances versus Miami, boys, you will pay. In the 34th minute, Messi did his thing, controlling a lob into the middle of the field, maneuvering through the Nashville defense, and firing his 27th goal this season past Joe Willis into the corner of the goal. NSC had a response, however. In the 43rd minute, Nashville's star duo combined for a beautiful attack. It started with Sam Surridge heading a service from Andy Nahar right into Mukhtar's path, and Hani returned the favor by crossing the ball back in front of the goal, where Surridge finished with a nice header to tie the game at 1. And then in first half stoppage time, Surridge picked up a loose ball, charged into the middle of the field, and found Hani charging on the left side. Hani's shot deflected off the right post, but Jacob Schaffelberg arrived just in time to put the rebound back into the goal and give Nashville the 2-1 lead going into halftime. Nothing else of note happened after that.
No,
or that trip.
if only. No, seriously, Miami came out in the second half with much more intention and momentum, controlling possession and dictating the game's pace. Schaffelberg suffered a back injury that had him removed from the game early, and from that point on, Miami, or should I say Messi, dominated. Nahara was called for a questionable handball inside Nashville's own penalty box, and Messi converted on the penalty kick to draw the game even. And then he assisted Baltazar Rodriguez on an easy score a few minutes later. In the 81st minute, Messi struck a laser from the top of the box through the defense and passed a diving Joe Willis to give him 29 goals on the season and a hat trick for the evening. And for a final knife in the gut, Messi assisted Talasco Segovia on a stoppage time goal to give Miami a 5-2 victory. Blah.
Yeah.
It all looked to be going Nashville's way for the first 45, but in the end, they ran into the greatest player of all time. If the boys in gold want revenge, well, they're in luck. Nashville will face Miami in the playoffs in a best-of-3 first round. If they can play like they did in the first half of this game, they can expect some success. But Nashville will have to play perfect in order to dispatch Miami and enjoy an extended playoff run. Fellas, what a night. A tale of two halves. It was the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And I'd just like to hear your initial thoughts on the evening. Evan, what do you think?
Yeah, my initial thoughts on the evening are that though this has been a really good season, much better than we could have hoped for going into this season, we still have a ways to go from the low point that was 2024. Sam and Hani have been great this year, but there's still plenty of room for improvement when it comes to finishing. As we saw last night, our midfield has done wonders in terms of pressing and causing turnovers and creating offensive chances, especially up the wings, but they have tons of room for improvement in terms of passing accuracy. Some games we seem to have it, but a lot of games we just don't. And then our defense has a lot of room for improvement in just marking. It's a mixed group back there in terms of age and experience and ability and all that sort of thing. And there's just something missing in terms of the defensive third and getting lost and turned around and whatnot. So anyway, that's my initial take.
Interesting. John, anything to add?
Yeah. Your boy Omar Little from The Wire summed it up perfectly. If you come at the king, you best not miss.
It's so true.
And that's what we did. We absolutely came at the king last night. We threw everything into that first half, and we were so close to putting it away. Obviously, we were up at the half, but we could have been more, and we should have been more. We had 3.26 expected goals just in the first half alone.
Yeah.
And I really think if we had been up like 4-1, this is not 100%. Maybe they would have taken Messi off, and maybe we'd be talking about a win right now. Because, ultimately, the win really didn't move them anywhere. They stayed in third place. And maybe if we had, had a huge lead like we could have had, maybe we're talking about a whole different thing right now. But obviously, life did not work that way. And we only led 2-1. And the amount of effort that we put into that first half, it really, really stood out in the second half that effort really is not something we could sustain for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway. We can do this and we can beat them, but we have to put away those chances when we create them.
Yeah. John and I, we were sitting directly behind the goal. Shouldn't say sitting. We were standing right behind the goal, probably, 20 rows up in the supporter section. Had a clear view of all of the shots that we had in that first half. Sam had 2 point-blank shots that he just barely missed, and then Hani had one of his own that was probably even better.
Yeah,
He was
wide open
on it, and they just, they got too excited, and in each case, the shot sailed over the crossbar.
Yeah.
We could have easily had a 5-goal first half.
Yeah.
We were that close. To having those goals. It's unfortunate, and you're exactly right. That quote couldn't have been a better selection, John. you're going to come at the King, you best not miss. And we missed those 3 goals, and they were all critical to the outcome of the game. Oh, so frustrated.
So close.
We have not beaten Miami since Messi joined them yet, and it is becoming increasingly frustrating. There have been games that we have played them absolutely to their level. That CONCACAF final was incredible. Went to penalty kicks at the end. Went to 10 penalty, or was it 9 penalty kicks
11,
or 10 penalty kicks?
The keepers took some. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So it's ridiculous. But then we've had games that have ended up like this, where it has been a bit lopsided. Though, again, in that first half, we gave them everything that they could have wanted and then some. So we are able to be that caliber of team. It's just, can we be for 90 minutes is the question. Can we put the whole package together? Guys, let's talk about some happier thoughts. Let's talk about, hell yeah. John, we'll start with you. What's your hell yeah for this evening?
I'm just going to start with it. That pressure that we put on them in that first half had me on my feet screaming, oh, hell yeah, we are all over this team. Over the course of the year, we've said that Tagseth has dropped off. Tagseth was all over them last night.
He really was.
Creating turnovers.
He really was.
And not only him, but Hani and Sam Surge also were putting in the pressure as well and creating so many turnovers, creating so many chances. It was really, really inspiring to see. But once again, you can do that as a normal soccer team for a certain amount of time. And then you really have to take your chances when you get them. And if you don't, you're really going to be tired. And that's exactly what happened in that second half. It actually reminded me a lot. I really hate to talk about Manchester United today. I'm not going to say why. No, hats off to them. They played a hell of a game and beat Liverpool. So it reminded me, there were 2 Champions League finals Manchester United played against Barcelona, like I think 2009 and maybe 11 or 12, somewhere in there. And both games were almost identical. Manchester United had a fantastic team back then. Wayne Rooney at the top of his game, Ronaldo in at least the first final. And they made a choice against Barcelona that they were going to go full on at the start of each game. And like for the first 30 minutes of both of those games, Manchester United was all over them, but they didn't put enough of the chances away. And the rest of the game, Barcelona took over. And I'm not saying this Inter Miami team is that Barcelona team, but they're the closest thing to it in MLS. And eventually, if you get tired, they're going to pick their way through you. That's exactly what happened. So my all hell yeah is that pressure in the first half is amazing. And I love the strategy. And I think in the playoffs, it can work, but you got to have perfection when it comes to finishing. So it's definitely a strategy where you're just going to go gung-ho from the start. And I love to see it because it was really entertaining. And it's better than laying back and just losing that way too, because I mean, there's every chance you're going to lose that way. So I love the aggression. So I really hope we keep it up and finish those chances when we get them.
One of the best halves I've seen NSC play, to be perfectly honest.
Possibly the best. I mean, we were amazing in that first half.
And against a high caliber team, Yeah. So, yeah. And Evan, what's your all hell yeah this evening?
You know what? I want to give mine this evening to Walker Zimmerman.
Oh, nice.
I've been a little bit down on Walker, not personally, obviously, but just soccer-wise this season. But, he's worked his way back from some injuries and whatnot, and he started the match last night, and he looked really, really good, especially the first half. The second half, none of us really looked great in the back. I can't say that any of those goals were particularly on him. I think he just played a really good game, all things considered, and it was really great to see because it's almost something that you don't know what you've been missing until it's gone, or at least until it's come back. And I've kind of missed seeing him back there, and it was just really great to see him there starting and playing well last night. So, all hell yeah, Walker Zimmerman.
His future is uncertain at this point with the teams, and we'll probably talk more about that once the season is completely over. But enjoy these moments while you can, because you don't know how many more you're going to get watching, one of these top level players like Walker get to play in Geodis. So he deserves that. It was a great night for him, for sure. Okay, boys. Well, yeah, it wasn't all mango hot honey beer last night. Unfortunately, there was some not so great moments as well. So let's talk about those. This is, oh, hell no. Evan, we'll stick with you. What's your all hell no this evening?
Yeah, I'm going to give this one to the club for what I consider to be a really disappointing and subpar tribute to Taylor Washington before the game. You know, I thought about it. My initial reaction afterwards was like, wow, they could have done a lot better with that. And then I got to thinking, well, you know, Taylor's a pretty humble guy. Maybe it was his preference to keep it so low key. But I was like, even so, they should not have allowed or agreed to that. They should have put him right in the center of the pitch. They should have had his family out there with him. I mean, it should have been a big deal to announce, you know, his retirement there in front of the home fans. And so the more I've thought about it, the more disappointed I've gotten about it. So, oh, hell no, NSC, you should have done better with Taylor's retirement celebration there.
Hey, amen, man.
Totally agree. They had his jersey in a frame down there, and, you know, you couldn't hear anything of what was going on. And I guess I'm questioning, are they possibly retiring his jersey or doing, I mean, are we going to start doing that with, you know, we don't have any retired numbers at Geodis yet. And he's really maybe the first player that has retired in the Nashville uniform at this point.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Certainly one of note. And even though he was never one of our top players, he was certainly the through line from our earliest days and origins to now. And, you know, he's been with the club for a decade or more. And I would be okay with that if they hung his jersey in the rafters, so to speak.
For sure.
But I have no idea if they were doing that or not because you couldn't hear
couldn't hear anything.
It's pretty lousy. John, what's your all hell no this evening?
Yeah, I'm going to expand on it. Just overall, Fan Appreciation Day. Fan Appreciation Day was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You feel appreciated?
No, not in the least.
I didn't feel appreciated, and I know that a lot of fans out there did not feel appreciated because they were priced out of going to the game.
Right.
Okay, so one thing is if you had a season ticket, that's fair enough. There's a lot of fans out there who are absolute fans and absolutely as big of fans as any season ticket holder who just can't afford a season ticket for some reason or another. They shouldn't be priced out of going to a game. And oh my God, it pisses me off so much. The supporters section at Nashville SC is supposed to be for Nashville supporters. How many people did you notice with shitty little white Nashville SC t-shirts on?
Yeah, there were a lot.
Obviously over another shirt.
Yeah, right.
When I was at the game, I had my suspicions of what was going on. And afterwards, I found out what was going on. Those were people with Miami shirts, and the ushers or whatever were giving away white generic NSC shirts to wear over their stuff. It didn't make them Nashville supporters.
No.
The supporters section was not what it usually is. Just wasn't loud because half of them were freaking Messi supporters. They're not even Miami supporters. They're just people that wanted to see Messi. And that is fine. They should be able to buy tickets in the rest of the stadium. They shouldn't be able to buy tickets in the supporters group.
Yeah.
Do you want fans, Nashville SC? Do you appreciate your fans? Make it so that fans can only get seats in that section. And I have thought of so many ways that you could do this. Okay, so when you buy a ticket, the team has your email, right?
That's right.
Make it so that if you are not either a season ticket holder who is trying to buy additional seats for friends or family, or make it so that if you've been to like 2 or 3 games, that's the only way that you can buy tickets in the supporters section.
Yeah.
It would be such an easy fix to do this. They're not going to do it, though. They don't care about their fans.
No.
And that is why I say, all hell no, Nashville SC. If you're going to have Fan Appreciation Day, appreciate your fans. Make it so that your fans can get into the game, and there's at least one part of the stadium that is only for us. That is not for anybody else. That is not for Messi stands. That is not for Miami fans. There should be one part of the stadium, at least, that's for us, no matter what game it is. And they just absolutely fumbled the ball, and they're a bunch of freaking idiots. NSC, do better. Better by your fans. If you want this team around for a long time, You got to take care of your fans.
Amen, brother. You know that they don't really care, no matter what fan appreciation night, no matter what they might do for you, when they charge 5 times as much for the ticket.
Yeah.
And I mean, a supporter section ticket was going for $100 or more this whole week, which is ridiculous. That's supposed to be an affordable section for the true fans to be able to get into. Like you said, it was completely full of people.
I can absolutely see that for the rest of the stadium.
Right.
Make the money off people because you know that there's going to be messy fans that are just buying the tickets for a one-time thing. That's okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
Have one section where it's fans. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not too much to ask.
Furthermore, they sent out emails ahead of the game really touting this fan appreciation night, promoting all of the different features and things that they were going to do that were special to show appreciation to fans. Largely, it was the same game day experience as we always get.
Yeah.
They promised some sort of like special commemorative patch they were going to give away. Didn't see that.
I didn't see them.
Not any bit. I didn't see anywhere that was being handed out. They promised that throughout the game, there's going to be numerous giveaways for the fans. At one point early in the first half, they threw out some Target gift cards that you just had to randomly catch. They were like coming down from above. And you know what? So a few people got them, but not many.
Yeah.
A small percentage. And that was ridiculous. And that was the only giveaway that I saw all evening. And of course, they had the Taylor thing that you couldn't hear one word of. Just poor execution from beginning to end. And it all started with how they were gouging on the ticket prices because it was messy coming to town. This is the third or fourth time now, and they do it every time. The playoff game will be the same way, I'm sure.
It's going to be the same way.
And it's a damn shame because you're going to make it difficult for regular fans of NSC to come out and support this team during the playoffs. It's just terrible the way that they do this. It's pretty consistent with how the team operates, at least not the players on the field, but certainly the administrative part of this team. Over and over again, they prove to us how much they aren't terribly concerned with it. I mean, like maybe a little, but not to any great degree are they concerned.
Do you want fans or do you want customers?
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you what they want.
It's pretty clear what they want. It's pretty clear what they want.
Yeah. They can say all that what they want in their emails and on their website and whatever, but the actions speak much louder than words in this occasion. All right. I'm glad we were able to do all of that. Now we will step down from our collective soapbox and move on, because I'm sure that while that was getting pretty hot and spicy, we can do even better than that, because now it is time for the Nashville Hot Chicken Takes.
My hot chicken take is that these owners got skills to shake, entertain the crowd and get on the field. 'Cause why the fuck not?
Evan, we're going to start with you tonight.
Okay.
You get first crack at it.
Yeah.
How spicy can you get?
Well, I think this might be spicy in a way that you guys don't necessarily enjoy or appreciate. And I alluded to this a little bit ago, but I actually feel really privileged to have been at the match last night. So I was actually one of these fans who was priced out of the game and was not planning on going to the game. And all of a sudden yesterday, our dear friend, Dr. Joey, the rules analyst,
yes,
surprised us with the availability of 2 free tickets, and I jumped on those tickets. And so I was at the match last night when I didn't think I was going to be. And it's the first time I've ever seen Messi live. So that was an extra treat for me. So anyway, look, trust me, the loss was very disappointing. Losing the chance for home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, very disappointing. But even deep into the second half, I was trying to look at the bright side, and just be grateful to have been there. And I even had this little flashback. You guys know I've been following the league since its inception. I actually got on this World Soccer train back in like 94, essentially when the World Cup came around. I had played soccer, with you guys as a kid, but I really actually got obsessed with basketball as I got older, middle school and high school. But in the spring of 94, when they started doing some of the pre-World Cup stuff, I started to kind of like get a little bit interested. And by the summer of 94, I was actually away at basketball camp and I was way more interested in the World Cup. And so I was, anytime we weren't actually on the court playing a match, I was sneaking down. This was a basketball camp at a college, and I was sneaking down to the student center and watching the World Cup with a bunch of college kids. And ever since then, I've just been following and tracing. And now here we are in 2025, and we have our own club, a beautiful stadium, and players like Leo Messi are in our league and playing on our pitch. And so anyway, I know that probably doesn't, that's not very appetizing here, but that's my hot chicken take, is that despite the bitter disappointment of the final result, I just feel so privileged to have been there.
Hey, aren't we lucky?
I love the big picture take.
Well,
no, for real.
No, I'm serious too. Yeah.
Because we can hate Messi all we want. Obviously, he's playing against our team, so we have to hate him right now. But my God, seeing him live in person, it's like seeing Da Vinci paint. It's like seeing Jimi Hendrix 1969. It's like seeing Freddie Mercury at the top of his game. It's something that not many humans get to experience in the course of time. And it's something that you're going to tell your grandkids about for sure.
Right.
It's something that I'm going to tell my grandkids about, because that dude thinks and acts faster than any human that I have seen, like way above what his peers are doing.
Yeah.
And so it really is something special. And it really does make you feel very appreciative when you're our age. We've all been soccer fans for 40 years now. You know, we have never had a chance to see anything like this up close. It's really, really cool to see it up close.
Yeah.
I don't deny that is incredible. I just wish it was against my freaking team.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree as well. This is really special, and I don't hate the guy. I mean, it's a privilege to get to see this in person, to see his talent. His ability is incredible, and it's just unmatched.
Yeah.
It is a real treat, and we are lucky to witness it. But as you said, John, damn it. Why, why can't our
against
team?
us, man.
Yeah, right.
Do it against everybody else. Score 8 goals against Charlotte for all I fucking care.
Yeah, 16 against Cincinnati.
Don't do it against us, man. Fuck 10 goals against Cincinnati.
Sure.
Yeah, who cares?
Sure. John, do you have a hot take for us this evening?
I do. I want to start out my hot take by shouting out Huntsville City, our MLS Next Pro team, made up of people from the Nashville SC organization. They just won in their first ever playoff game.
Oh, wow.
They won at Chattanooga. They beat Chattanooga FC 2-0. And here's my hot take. There was a guy starting in goal for Huntsville tonight named Brian Schwacke.
Oh.
This should not be the only playoff game Brian Schwacke starts this week.
Now that is hot. That is spicy.
Come on, y'all. So we play Friday night against Miami, down in Miami. Game 1 of a best-of-3 series. It's a free hit as far as I'm concerned, because we know that we've got Game 2 here in Nashville. It doesn't look good for us. If we pull it off, it's a miracle. But we've got one guy that has already pulled off a miracle in a big game for us this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's Brian Schwacke. He played a miracle game in that cup final. Why not start him Friday? That's my feeling. Why not? Why'd you got to lose? Because here's the thing. With these first round games, if the game happens to be tied at the end of 90 minutes, it goes straight to penalty kicks. There's no extra time in this first round. So we know Schwacke can save a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
He saved one against Austin in the cup final.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, let's let the dude work. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm feeling gutsy with this one. Brian Schwacke should start Friday night against Miami, in Miami.
It's spicy.
That's spicy.
It's a hot one. And, there's a very good chance that he might be getting a much more recurring role next year. Maybe it's a good time to go ahead and get him some experience. He obviously can deal with the bright lights and the pressure of big games because he just won a cup final. So Guys got some balls.
Just man of the match in the cup final.
Yeah. So
He wasn't just a passenger in that one. He's a big reason we won it.
absolutely he was. Yes.
And this is not an anti-Joe Willis take. I don't think Joe Willis had that bad a game last night. He made several good saves that were pretty tricky. I just feel like roll the dice, man.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
I don't hate that. It's a good one. I like it a lot. I doubt it will happen, but wow, it's a good one.
I doubt it. I don't know.
All right, guys. As you may know, all season long, whenever Nashville scores a goal, we've been listing off a favorite thing. Guys, the final total, 58 goals, 58 favorite things.
Really?
Bravo.
Round of applause.
Celebration for that.
Great job, boys.
BJ Callahan, that was one of your main things that you wanted to see us do was increase the offensive firepower, and you pulled it off, man. Here are the top teams in the East in terms of goals scored. Miami had 81.
Oh, my God.
Then Chicago had 68.
Wow.
Orlando had 63. They both finished 8th and 9th, respectively.
Yeah.
And then Nashville SC, 58. You can't
Pretty
hate
good.
on that. That's doing a real good job. Of course, Sam Surge had an incredible season. Hani had a great season. Those of us here at Electric Gold had a great season listing off our favorite things. It's time for another one. And I guess it's my turn. And I've been debating this one for a while. I've been knocking it back and forth with John. So one of my very favorite things is boobs. John and I have been joking about doing that as a favorite thing all season, but no, it's
like
in reality, in
mercy.
reality, it's funny that you mentioned it earlier, Evan, that you had become a basketball fan in middle school and high school, because I remember that about you. And of course, I have been a lifelong basketball fan as well. So let me take my final favorite thing in this soccer podcast to talk about a completely different sport, which is basketball.
Love it.
I
Bring
have
it, buddy. Bring
loved it
Yes,
since
son.
it's probably the sport that I have loved for the longest amount of time, since I was just a wee lad, and been a huge fan of basketball. Not so much college, but definitely pro basketball. I've always followed it, and I love the storylines and the greatest ever debates and all that sort of thing. You know, we have been alive and been fortunate enough to watch many different eras of the sport, from the early days of the 80s with Bird and Magic, Lakers versus Celtics, those great rivalries, the Pistons teams of the late 80s that were so tough and physical.
those guys.
Yeah, and hilarious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Jordan years through the 90s, an unparalleled star, similar to Messi, is currently.
Basically, yeah.
His dominance over the sport. And then you got into the 2000s and the next wave, the next generation, the dominance of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant as his sidekick, and the Allen Iversons, and then getting into the era of LeBron and Carmelo Anthony, and then Steph Curry, and now the modern day NBA with folks like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and in Denver. What's that? Nikola Jokic. I mean, just the greatness continues. And it seems like every generation we see something new and different that we didn't ever see before. I love how the sport evolves over the years. Now, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but from the time that I was little, I was a Lakers fan, and I continue to be to this day. And I know that's saying you love the devil, but it's just, I grew up watching Magic and Kareem and just
James
fell in love
Worthy
with that team. Oh,
James
yeah.
Worthy,
Big
son.
game James, man. Absolutely. They were so much fun. Showtime. And, I just never stopped watching and supporting the Lakers, and got to watch the Shaq and Kobe era. I got to go to games both in LA and in Memphis and see those two play. And seeing Shaq in person is incredible. He's like a gigantic bear-sized human. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
And of course, now the era with LeBron, and now we've got
Oh, Luca.
Luca. That's amazing. I can't remember anybody's name.
You can't remember Eastern European names.
Right. But now we've got Luca, and the future is bright for the Lakers. I'm very passionate about NSC, and I love soccer, and I love this team, this local team. But I've always been a huge Lakers fan, and that's probably my second sports love. I'm looking really forward to the beginning of the season in a couple of weeks, and so that's one of my favorite things. Huh?
It's this week.
Oh,
it's this week, dude? Yeah. Come on, man. It's this week. I'm counting down the hours.
I'm looking really forward to the beginning of the season this week, and hopefully it's going to be a good year. But anyway, so that's one of my favorite things is basketball and the Los Angeles Lakers.
I love it.
I love it. As a Knicks fan, I can only say I hope the Lakers fucking suck this year.
Thanks, buddy.
No, for real. Magic Johnson was my first love, and actually seeing Messi live actually reminded me. I was trying to think of like who the other greatest athlete I have ever seen in person was, and I actually saw a preseason game in 1987. It was Lakers versus New Jersey Nets at Vanderbilt's basketball arena.
Whoa.
And so I got to see Magic Johnson. He probably played like 5 to 10 minutes because it was a preseason game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably the closest thing I've seen to. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think probably other than Messi, seeing Kobe in like 2007, 2008 range. Yeah, he was just incredible. All right, let's move on. Evan, you get the final favorite thing of the season, Goal 58. Bring us home. What do you got?
Man, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Boobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could actually do an entire episode just about it. Probably shouldn't.
No, here's what I have chosen. It may be a little bit anticlimactic, but guys, I got to tell you, over the last several years, I have become such a huge fan, almost to the point of being a connoisseur of botanical gardens.
Wow, that's awesome.
I love botanical gardens. Okay, of course, we have a great one right here at home in Nashville in Cheekwood. And I like to go at least once a year and enjoy it. It's a great one, right? But I have, over the last few years, particularly on my annual summer road trips with my kids, been kind of venturing out and checking out some other ones. I've been to some really good ones recently in Ohio and Florida. But the best one I've ever been to was, I think, 2 summers ago, in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Wow. Full circle.
And it's called the Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park. Okay. And this thing is special, guys. If you ever are up there, please check it out. Okay. It is one of the most stunning fusions of art and nature you will ever see. Just imagine walking through 150 acres of lush gardens and world-class sculptures living side by side. You'll pass ponds, winding trails, groves of birch and maple trees, and then all of a sudden you're face to face with a massive structure by someone like Auguste Rodin or someone like that. This is not your average stroll in the park. So back in the 90s, Frederick Meyer of Meyer grocery store chains decided that he wanted to give his hometown something truly beautiful. And he teamed up with a local horticultural society. And by the mid-90s, they opened their doors there. What started as a local botanical garden has now grown into one of the top most visited art museums in the entire world. It's also recently become a major summer concert festival location. But anyway, beyond the sculptures, the horticultural side is just breathtaking. There's a tropical conservatory, a desert garden, and my favorite when I was there was their Japanese garden. It was almost like from another world, or just, one of the most beautiful movies you've ever seen, that took place in Japan or something like that. It was just so tranquil. There were koi ponds and stone bridges and waterfalls, and it was just incredible. Anyway, I was with my kids, and so I didn't want to just completely wear them out. So, I tried to kind of move through slowly, but I told myself while I was there, I was like, I will come back here someday and I will spend an entire day here. It's that awesome. And I tend to do so. And I also have a list. And since then I've been like researching it, and I have this list about a mile long of all of these other botanical gardens across the country that I intend to go to. So anyway, it may seem a little bit silly, guys, but I have just absolutely become obsessed with these things. So there you go. There's my final favorite thing for the year, botanical gardens.
I love it, dog.
How rock and roll.
Right.
I love it even more than
punk or what? Is that punk or is that punk?
That's very punk.
You're such a plant nerd. You know.
Yes.
No, that's awesome. And
I love it.
There's, again, in addition to many great breweries in the Grand Rapids area, take a day, go stroll in the botanical gardens there. It sounds like a wonderful time.
I can imagine.
All right, guys.
No, guys. No, I'm going to shut it down.
Oh.
Huh?
I'm going to give us a thing here.
Okay.
So we've talked about all our favorite things all year long.
Yep.
There is one favorite thing from all of Electric Gold that we need to acknowledge tonight.
Oh.
Okay.
Boobs. No, come on. No. I mean, obviously, the GOAT, the Nashville SC GOAT, Taylor Washington, boys. I think we really need to pay appreciation to Taylor Washington tonight.
Yeah.
Taylor Washington, if your listeners are new Nashville SC fans, you guys have missed being a fan of Taylor Washington for as long as we have. Taylor started out with this team in 2018 when they were first a USL championship side, which was kind of a minor league. He came to us. He was actually drafted by the Philadelphia Union in the MLS draft in 2016, but he didn't actually play a game with Philadelphia. He played with their B team, Bethlehem still at the time, and he played in Pittsburgh, also in the USL. Before he joined us, he was one of the first pro players that we signed back before the 2018 season.
Mm.
And I had the pleasure of being a fan for the team right from the start of the USL season. When you become a fan of a team that is like in a minor league, what I kind of did, I kind of watched the players and saw, why wasn't this player in the major league?
Yeah.
You could see players that had fantastic ball skills and just weren't really fast enough or something like that. Or you could see fast players that didn't really have the ball skills. From game one, I saw Taylor Washington and I could not think of a reason why he wasn't in MLS. I saw this guy was fast. He could serve one hell of a ball from the left side. And he worked so freaking hard. Right away, he was one of my favorite players. And I love the guy. The next year, 2019, we were still in the USL. I actually got a chance to meet him in person at a team trivia event. He was on my trivia team. We won over possibly some other NSC podcasters out there. Just putting it out there. Me and T-Wash. Could not have been a nicer guy. Like, I hadn't met him in person until that point, and I was like, oh my God, I love this dude. He was so cool. And I have to say something about those USL players. They weren't making much money. Like, those guys were still working second jobs, like in the off season at least, to get by. And you can't imagine how much work they put into making a professional career out of that. And so the next year we were going to join MLS in 2020, and we didn't really know if any of those USL guys would make the team or not. There were 4 guys, I think, that ended up making the team. And when they announced that Taylor Washington was one of them, I like jumped out of my seat. I was like overjoyed. I was like, oh my God, this guy gets his shot. And I was so happy for him. But man, he made the most of his shot. He stuck with the team. And I wanted to echo something that BJ Callahan said this week. We, as Nashvillians, a lot of us know Taylor Washington from his off the field stuff, because he is such a sweet dude. He is always involved in charities. He's involved with Vanderbilt Hospitals. He's involved with Kicking at 615. Like, he is involved in just a ton of stuff that I can't even think of. But you don't stick with a professional sports team, and you don't stick with a professional soccer team just because you're an awesome dude. You stick with it because you're an awesome athlete. And Taylor Washington absolutely deserved his spot on this team. He made his spot on this team. ever since we've been in MLS. He's been a valuable member of the team. He's usually been kind of a backup left back for Dan Lovitz because Lovitz joined us our initial season too. But my God, Taylor absolutely, when he came into the game, he always made a difference, right? He even had a few chances where he was the starter at certain times. Seeing him move on to the next phase of his life, now that he's going to be retiring at the end of the year, I just have to throw my hat off and say, Taylor Washington, you are Nashville SC. You're a legend, dude. And whatever you choose to do, you're going to rock it. And we in Nashville, we're so lucky to have had you as the flagship of this team.
You're here.
Hear, hear. Yeah, thank you, Taylor, for being a terrific part of this team, for being the nicest man in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's been a joy to watch you.
Yeah, and congratulations.
All right, now let's move on. If you've been a longtime listener of this podcast, which means since last season, you may remember that we didn't always have our standard format that we've kind of landed on this year. We used to throw a bunch of different segments out, and every once in a while we like to dig into the old bag of tricks and pull one of those old segments out for your treat. And tonight we're going to do just that. It's time for some Soccer 101, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
We're going into the playoffs, and last year we did not make the playoffs for the first time since the team joined the MLS, but we're back now. And we thought we would take a few moments to explain to listeners who maybe are newfound fans just exactly how the playoffs work in MLS. What's the format? What can they expect? And so, John, I'm going to turn over to you because you're the guy with all the details on the rules and stuff like that. If you don't mind, give the listeners a little bit of an overview of the playoff structure for MLS.
Absolutely. Yeah. Here's some John text for you. The MLS Cup playoffs begin this week. There's going to be 8 teams from the East and the West. There is a play-in game on Wednesday from both the East and the West involving the 8 versus 9 team. In the Eastern Conference, Chicago will host Orlando. By the way, it's amazing that Orlando dropped to 9th place.
Yeah, I know.
I thought they were pretty good for most of the year, but they fell apart at the end. Anyway, Chicago play Orlando, and then the winner of that will join the other 7 Eastern Conference teams in a best of 3 round that is called the first round of MLS. And the best of 3 will take place over 3 weekends. So it could be going until the weekend, November 8th, I believe. A key thing about these games that is different from other games that are going to be coming in later in the playoffs is that if the game is tied at the end of 90 minutes, it goes straight to penalties.
Mm-hmm.
There's no overtime. There's no extra time in this first round. I didn't look this up to make sure, but I really believe Charlotte might have won last year without ever winning a game.
Oh, wow.
Like they won in penalty kicks twice. So penalty kicks could become a really important thing. Of course, we are playing Inter Miami, and there tends to be a lot of goals in Inter Miami games one way or another because they don't really defend that good, but they score a hell of a lot of goals. So I don't know if penalties is going to be as big a deal in this series as others, but we'll see. After this initial best of 3 round, the playoffs switch to a single elimination for the rest of the way. So if Nashville SC happens to beat Miami, we will play the winner of Cincinnati and Columbus, which is the 2 versus 7. And that's a tasty matchup. The Ohio, those guys are going to kill each other.
Yeah.
I would love to play either of them. I would love to have the opportunity. Hopefully we're going to beat Miami. So fingers crossed on that. But at any rate, it would be a one-off game at the team that has the better regular season record. So actually, if somehow we beat Miami and Columbus is who we play in the next round, that game would be at Nashville because we finished ahead of Columbus in the regular season. So from there, it's basically like the NFL playoffs. It's just a one-off thing after the first round until the final. And whoever has the better regular season record in each round gets to host that game. So the MLS Cup final happens, I think, December 6th. This thing is going to go on for a minute. Let's hope that we're there in December and playing. Honestly, if we beat Miami, we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Oh, for sure.
So this first round is absolutely going to be it. I do want to talk a little bit about Nashville SC's history in these playoffs.
Please do.
Okay. If you guys don't mind, Nashville SC joined MLS in 2020. As we all remember, that was the year of COVID. And that entire year was a fever dream to me. I don't remember hardly any of it. It was nuts. We all lived through it. So Nashville SC, actually, the first ever playoff game that we played, guess who it was against?
Miami.
Enter Miami. We were both expansion teams that year, and we played each other at Nissan Stadium in Nashville before an attendance of 3,240 because it was, COVID.
Yeah, social distancing.
Related.
Yeah,
social distancing. We beat them 3-0. There was a long distance goal from Randall Leal in that game. It was a beauty. I do remember that goal. If there's anything from 2020 I remember, it's Randall Leal's goal against Miami. And then after that, we actually went to Toronto. And Toronto was really good that season. We beat them 1-0 in overtime in Toronto. And so we made it to the final 8 of that season. And we actually played Columbus Crew the next week. And we took them to overtime before we finally lost 2-0 in overtime. Wow. And Columbus ended up winning that year. So that was probably our best playoff run. The next year, we had a really good regular season. We finished 3rd overall in the East. We played Orlando City in the first round that year at Nissan Stadium. And I remember we kicked their ass. We beat them 3-1. It was a beautiful game. Hani Mukhtar scored twice. And then Jonder Cadiz, remember him?
Oh, wow.
He scored the 3rd goal in the 94th minute. And after that, we went to Philadelphia, and we had a 1-1 tie with them. And it went to penalties, and it was an absolute disaster.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
We missed all of our penalties that year. Ugh. And it really sucked because I honestly believe if we had won that penalty shootout, we would have won MLS in 2021 because Philadelphia went the next week and played New York City. That was a team we had beaten handily that year. And New York City actually ended up winning the title that year. Since 2021... you might as well not talk about the playoffs as far as NSC goes because we haven't won any games. In 2022, we made it, and we lost 1-0 in the first round to LA Galaxy and LA. In 2023, that was the first year of the best of 3 first round. We played Orlando City again, and it was awful. We lost 2 games, 1-0, back-to-back. We didn't come close to scoring a goal in either game. Dang. I wish I had killed myself rather than have watched both of those games. But I was there and I watched them and we were awful. So obviously 2024, we didn't make the playoffs. So now is the time. We have got to get a playoff win this year, our first since 2021. Come on, boys. Please, 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 for the love of God, let's win some games.
Yeah, I want to see a long playoff run. I will say that there have been many times, it is not uncommon for the MLS Cup winner to be different than the Supporters Shield winner.
Yeah.
It is a fairly common occurrence where the best team from the regular season does not win this postseason tournament. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. And guess who? The Eastern Conference representative in the final last year was New York Red Bulls, who were the 7th seed.
Wow. Right.
And last year, Miami was the 1st seed going in and lost in the first round in a best of 3 to Atlanta, who were the 8th seed. Wow. So it can happen. Believe that weird shit happens in the MLS playoffs.
Yeah, Atlanta had to win that play-in game, and then they went and beat Miami, which was crazy. So, yeah, once we get to the playoffs, the slate is wiped clean. Everybody is 0-0, and anything can happen, right?
Absolutely.
Come on, boys, you can do this.
Yeah, well, I'm dying to hear what's going to happen in this first game Friday night versus Miami. So, guys, if you would, do me a solid and break out your crystal balls, y'all. All right, John, we'll start with you. I want to hear some predictions.
Yep. Miami is going to score twice.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah.
But Luis Suarez... he's going to get a red card in the 38th minute for attempting to bite Jack Mayer's peanuts.
Gosh.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Against 10 men, Nashville SC is going to win 3-2, baby.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Love that.
We're going to take game 1.
Very specific
Go
prediction.
ahead and bet all your money on this happening because it's absolutely going to come true. God almighty, I don't know. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fun game. I think all the games we play against Miami are going to be ridiculously fun. And who only knows? We really do play well against them. Mm-hmm. There's definite advantages that we have on the field because, honestly, Miami don't defend. They just don't.
Not at all.
They don't. If you take your time and you are accurate, you're going to get chances against them. Make them, because if you don't, you're going to get tired and then they're going to pick you apart.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is to it.
Evan, do you have any predictions on top of that one?
Yeah, I do. So I am gazing into my crystal ball and I see that it is going to end after 90 minutes in a 2-2 draw and go into a penalty kick shootout where Miami is going to actually prevail in the penalty kick shootout, putting us on the ropes. But we're going to come back home and we'll have another chance the following week.
Okay. All right.
Hate to see it.
Fair enough. Well, I am dying of anticipation to see what does unfold, to see if either of you are right. And we'll see what happens. It's time for some revenge. I think that NSC, you've struggled to get over the hump with Miami these last few years. Now is the time to finally draw blood and get your revenge. I think it's going to happen. So I'm going to stay optimistic, guys.
Love it.
Like the judge said, why not me? Why not NSC?
Right, exactly. Well, listen, I am all out of beer, so we've got to wrap things up. But before we go, John, we would really like to get some listener input and hot takes and hell yes and what have you, because the end of the season is coming soon and we want to have a big end of season wrap up and share some of their best thoughts and comments. So how will they get in touch with us?
Yeah, absolutely. We are Electric Gold NSC on Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly Twitter. I've had a few messages for the last few days. We've posted stories about, hey, last night didn't go the way we wanted it to, but let's get our revenge. And I had several messages today that were like, oh, hell yeah. Several people were like, vamos NSC, let's do this shit. Y'all are just like us. You can't get down because we saw last night we can beat this team. We got to be perfect, but we can do it.
Yeah, right.
We can do it.
Right.
You got to believe. You got to keep believing. And absolutely, any messages you want to send us, we would love to hear them.
Yep. So don't hesitate to reach out, share your thoughts with us. And of course, we'll collect them all. And sometime soon, we'll do a big end of season mailbag wrap up. So in the meantime, hang in there, folks. I know it was a disappointing evening last night, but keep your chins held high because we still have a lot to look forward to. It's time for the playoffs, baby.
Playoffs.
That's right. We're talking about the playoffs. We're talking about the playoffs. That's right. So keep your heads held high. Keep cheering on the team. Keep tuning in. Make sure and watch Friday night. Keep on cheering these boys on. And of course, keep on saying it. Come on, you boys and gold.
Come on, you boys and gold.
Come on, you boys and gold.
Under cities, neon lights, talking dreams on Friday nights. Electric vibes and stories told. Come on, you boys and gold. Waves of laughter in the air. Podcast pals without a care. Sharing glorious thoughts out loud. Come on, you boys and gold. Waves of laughter in the air. Podcast pals without a care. Sharing glorious thoughts out loud. Come on, you boys and gold. Electric gold.
Wait a second. Miami, here we go again. Listen, I don't have to rehash all of the insults to your city and your team. You get it at this point. You know how fake and stupid you are. Look, we don't like you, and we're tired of losing to you. I know you just put it to us again, but listen, we still got something extra for you this time around. Something down deep. Nashville SC is bringing our talents to South Beach, and when we get there, we're going to give you something really special this time, and it goes like this.
Messi, Suárez, Miami, vete a la mierda. No queremos tu vida, no te debemos una mierda. Y odiamos tu regla, vete a la mierda. Así que sal de mi campo, puedes chupar nuestros penes, maldita perra de mierda. Vamos a vivir para siempre. Esperamos que te follen el culo en la cárcel. Alba, Buque, Miami, vete a la mierda. No puedes enseñarnos una mierda. Y si fuéramos tú nos cortaríamos las venas. Vete a la mierda. Porque podíamos ser jóvenes, pero cavaremos tu tumba hasta que el trabajo esté hecho. Así que joder, vamos a vivir para siempre. Esperamos que te follen el culo en la cárcel. Cárcel, cárcel, cárcel. Fuck it. Porque somos los chicos de Nashville SC. Pensamos por nosotros mismos, así que quítate de encima de nuestro camino. Y todos ustedes los flamencos pueden ahogarse en mierda. Esperamos que te asfixie con la polla de un perro. Inter Miami, vete a la mierda. ¿Crees que somos unos punk cuando tu cara parece el coño de un elefante? Vete a la mierda, porque no eres nuestro papá. Así que cállate y límpianos el trasero. Así que joder, vamos a vivir para siempre. Vete a la mierda. Esperamos que te follen el culo en la cárcel.
Okay, boys. Well, it wasn't all rosy. I don't know what you want to. It wasn't all. I don't know, dandelions and. I can't think of a word. It wasn't all dandelions and beer.
Joy and mango hot honey beer.
It wasn't all mango hot honey beer last night.